Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter in the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of 2, soon to be an empty nester, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a newish mom, and I work in higher ed. In this episode, we'll recap our favorite moments from the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast and Happier in Hollywood, hosted by Liz Craft and Sarah Fain podcast.
But first, okay, Malika, I have 2 things to talk about. The first is this cookie that I can't stop thinking about.
Okay. Was it a good tasting cookie?
No, I didn't taste it. That has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
So my husband and I recently went to Mammoth for a couple of days. We had a great time. And there's this bakery that's there. And so we went into the bakery and they have like their typical case of cookies with all different kinds and varieties on the shelves. And then on the very bottom of the shelf, there were these sugar cookies that were iced. And some of the sugar cookies were iced like emoji faces, like happy. But then there was just like one sad cookie.
Oh.
I call it the worried cookie. It looks like anxiety, maybe.
Oh.
It tickles me because it is so unexpected to see an anxiety face cookie on a cookie sheet in a bakery. And it's funny because I asked the guy who was working at the bakery, like, oh my goodness, these cookies are hilarious. And he was like, I have nothing to do with that. I was like, okay.
Oh.
So I don't know if there's a story behind these anxiety cookies, maybe a cry for help from the baker. I don't know. But anyway, I think it's cute.
That's funny.
Sent you a picture of that because I thought it was funny.
It is funny, this picture, and we'll put it on the Instagram. It's like, it's a worried cookie, but it also looks like it was made in haste or like under duress.
Right. Like maybe the mouth just slid. Like maybe the intention wasn't for it to be worried, but that's just how it ended up. But like cookies can be sad too. That's the thing. That's the takeaway, is that all of the emotions are okay, even on a
No,
cookie.
it's
okay.
definitely a sad cookie. It didn't just slide. It was a sad cookie.
Okay. It wasn't a cookie error.
No, but I think bakeries, goods, like they do tend to skew positive. You kind of assume there's going to be a cheerful thing. So it is interesting to make a choice that way as a baker. Then maybe they're just expressing themselves.
It stood out because I have been in a lot of bakeries. I really like cookies. I've made a lot of cookies myself, and I've never seen a cookie like this before. So that's why it stood out to me. I will definitely put it on Instagram so you guys can see the sad, worried / anxiety cookie
That's
that I'm
funny.
talking about. But the other thing that's on my mind, Malika, is Coachella. We're in the middle of Coachella weekend, the big music festival that happens out in the desert in Southern California. And I was so excited because I learned that you could watch it live on YouTube.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I did not know that. No.
So, you know how much I love music. I love live music. And, Coachella's expensive and a lot of time and far away and was not on my list of things to do. But I get to enjoy it from my comfortable couch. And so I did. Last night I listened to a K-pop band and Green Day did a set. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
It's reminding me of when you went to Coachella.
Yes, I did go to Coachella.
Tell us about it, Malika.
I think it was 2019. It was fun. I think I have a different perspective because I was gifted the tickets. So it was like a very generous gift, but I didn't invest in it personally. Wasn't on my list to go.
You weren't like dying to go to Coachella
No.
and then you get to.
No, it was kind of like a friend had these tickets and I think she bought them for me and mine, but it was her dream. It was her thing that she was passionate about.
Okay.
But Norm and I went together and it's a lot. It was overwhelming, the music choices. But we did get to see Lizzo. This was
That's
like before
amazing.
she really got big. And so that was a very exciting moment. There were some really cool performances, but I do remember the elements standing out as like, it was hard.
It was hard. Okay. You're not
It's
really
hard.
selling it right
I'm not
now
selling it. I'm
at
being
all.
honest. I'm
Okay.
totally being honest. It's an experience with a capital E.
I like experiences though.
You do. It could be your thing.
Do you have tips?
Hydrate.
Okay.
Expect to be waiting around a lot. I guess depending on how you relate to the heat, it's like wear less clothes or wear more clothes.
Right.
Like
Layers.
a lot of people didn't have very many clothes on, but I think it was more of a fashion choice.
I've seen that.
Bring your chafing stick or whatever.
Okay.
And, like, really think through or plan ahead for the logistics of, like, just getting in and out. Because there's nothing worse than, like, when you wanna go home and then you realize it's gonna take 2 hours to get home because
Oh,
of
yeah.
where you are in the venue and, like, the amount of traffic and the people, and I think that was hard.
So you have to prepare for the end when you're exhausted and yet 2 hours
Exactly.
away from home and it's dark and there's a lot of people leaving at the same time.
Yes. Because even though we stayed in a hotel that wasn't that far, it was, like, maybe a 30-minute bike ride, which was kind of like we bypassed some of the car traffic, but there's a lot of foot traffic just getting out,
Yeah.
and it's just a lot of people in the same schedule, and so I think as the festival went on, we got savvier about, like, okay, who do we really wanna see and when should we leave and that kinda thing, but I
Right.
think
Mhm.
with your Disneyland prowess, you could
Yes.
probably do that ahead of time and watch some YouTube videos and
Sounds to me like a combination of Disneyland and camping, like,
yes,
together, right? With the crowds and the dust and the elements and the entertainment. I think I have some strategies that could set me up well for this potential experience in the future. It's on my bucket list. I feel like I'm gonna be like the old auntie at Coachella.
you enjoy that.
You're not coming? Is that
I
what you're
don't think
saying?
so. Wasn't there a question a while ago about, like, do you like to be in luxury or do you like to be adventurous? And I think this particular Coachella category, like, I want a place to sit, like,
Right,
not on the
yeah.
ground.
I'm not adventurous, but this is my kind of adventure. Like, I
Yeah,
think this, like, nexus of music and people and experiencing something together, being outdoors, I think that is my adventure because you're uncomfortable, but it's not forever. It's like, it's a day or some hours. It's gonna end at some
yeah.
point, and you're gonna have some stories.
I think a big part of my experience was, like, brought on by poor choices that I made that had me in the medical tent for a while
Oh, no.
for the majority of one of the nights.
Oh, no wonder you're scarred.
So,
That sounds
yeah.
terrible.
I put myself there, but it did also color the whole weekend.
Well, see, you have to do it over so you can have positive memories now, and I promise you, you won't end up in the medical tent again. You bring me with you, and we'll make
Whole
good
thing.
choices together. So, do you think we're going to go to Tanglewood? I'm really excited
Yes.
about that. Is this gonna be like Coachella? Are there any elements of Tanglewood that are like Coachella?
I mean, there's music and it's outside. I think it stops there. Like,
Okay.
Tanglewood is a totally different crowd.
Are they wearing more clothes?
Definitely more clothes.
Okay.
It's got, like, sophisticated vibes, like, people have
Ah.
candelabras and elaborate picnics, and
Oh, wow.
it's very different. And there's just one performer.
Right. There's not multiple stages.
I think it's more manageable in that way. It is like a full day. It's closer to the Hollywood Bowl, I would say.
Okay. So when I come out there, it's gonna be early or late June. I'll be out there and we'll get to go to Tanglewood together. So we'll need a plan. We'll need a strategy. Do we need a candelabra? Tablecloth?
I don't feel comfortable with open flames. As a
Oh,
Californian, like, it's not an issue here and people had them, but I feel like I don't want any real candles on my picnic.
that's okay. We'll get the flameless ones.
But we absolutely do need a plan. I feel like we need sketches, maybe?
Do we need a Pinterest board? Fire it up.
Pinterest board, yes. Yes, a Pinterest
Okay.
board would be very good. We have a wagon, so
Okay.
that's definitely something that will come in handy, and Yes, we will need to think about the menu early on.
Oh, this is making me so happy right now. This is making me so happy. We're going to win Tanglewood because it's a competition and we're going to win. Okay?
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Oh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Azizi, what happened on Happier recently?
On the More Happiers, Gretchen hosted a panel discussion on friendship and aired an episode of Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson's podcast, IMO. On episode 529, Elizabeth and Gretchen discuss cutting back on cussing and whether objects have human traits. And on episode 530, they share hacks related to spring cleaning. Malika, on the More Happier, where Gretchen had a panel of experts talking about friendship, there was this concept that just jumped out at me. And it was research about something called the liking gap. And apparently there's a disparity that people tend to underestimate how much someone wants to be their friend. And so then that prevents them from reaching out and proactively trying to hang out with them. So everyone is walking around thinking that other people definitely like them less than they like them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And they think like, oh, that person, they wouldn't want to hang out with me. And I suffer from this, or I have suffered from this. And it was really interesting to hear this research because then it would prevent me from just proactively reaching out. And it made me realize to go ahead and just reach out.
Just reach out. Yeah, it's such a sad, phenomena because personally you're feeling like, well, they just don't like me or they're not going to like me as much as I like them. But then what that looks like is that you don't like them because you haven't reached out. And so it reinforces it for both people
Yes.
when really everybody wants to be friends.
Yes. I think this is horrible. It's horrible. And more people should know this. More people should
Yes.
know that this exists so that if someone seems standoffish or a little shy or not making the first move, it is not necessarily because they don't want to hang out with you or they don't want to get to know
Right.
you or develop a friendship.
Just today, I was talking to Indigo about a play date we're having tomorrow. It's like a family gathering.
Yes.
And there's going to be a kid there that's about his age. And so I was selling it to him as like, you're going to have a play date. You're going to meet a new friend. And Indigo was excited. And then maybe 2 minutes later, the conversation had moved forward. He was like, is she going to like me?
Oh,
And I was like, oh my gosh. He's 2.5. Where did this idea come from already?
yeah.
It's such an innate thing. Or he's already been socialized to feel this way about meeting somebody new. I don't know. But I was just like, yes, of course.
Uh,
I hope she does.
We're
I don't know.
biologically hardwired for connection. And
Yeah.
then we're worried about not being connected, or that's amazing. this conversation and all these concepts made me think about missed connections in my past.
Mm,
And it made me realize that there were emotional bids that I missed to be friends with someone
yeah.
because I just assumed it was something else, or maybe I wasn't in tune, or again, just thinking like they wouldn't want to be my friend, or they probably want something else, or just not even being aware. So that's something that I want to plug into a little bit more, those friendship emotional bids, the little incremental step that someone might take
Yeah.
to build something more.
Yeah. That's good.
I enjoyed that conversation.
In one of the more happiers, Gretchen and Liz are together in Los Angeles at Liz's house, and they kind of give some little scenes from their time hanging out together, which was very fun to listen to. And it reminds me, Norm is always encouraging us to record more when we're together.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Maybe he just tells me,
Okay.
but I always kind of roll my eyes and like, but it's pretty fun to hear Gretchen and Liz. And so maybe we should try to do it. It's a fun keepsake, and I enjoy hearing them in real life.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I feel like I did say that we should do more recording together,
Okay, maybe it was you.
because the last time when I was in East Hampton over the summer, we went to the farm together and we
Yeah,
went to
we did.
cafe, and that was fun. We should definitely do it. We're together so few times.
I know.
Yeah. Next time.
And I was reminded of us because I really wanted you to help me with my closet,
Yeah.
and it just
But Malika, what did you do? You like brought me to your closet the last night. In fact, I wasn't even supposed to be in your house that night. It's because my flight was delayed. And then we looked at it together and
I
it was like,
know.
oh yeah, there's a lot to do here.
I know.
I would have happily helped you days ago.
Well, I hate to say it, but it will probably be this way the next time you visit.
All right. All right. Well,
So,
I'm gonna roll up my sleeves. We'll start day one with a plan. Just like when I went through the kitchen over the summer. So now that I know, I'll come ready for that.
yes. They also had this whole conversation about traveling and the things that you do when you're traveling and what do you do on the airplane. Gretchen always reads fiction. She says fun reading,
Hmm.
and that she has a friend who always does like her deepest, hardest work on the airplane.
Hmm.
And that got me thinking about what are your deep work conditions? For some people, it is no Wi Fi, that little small space in an airplane, you can't go anywhere. I've heard a lot of people say this, but for you, what's the deep work zone?
It is a unique experience being on a plane. And so I'm terrified of flying. I do it because I want to go places and see people, but I don't enjoy it. So usually on the plane, especially on the way to the thing, I'm watching comedies or some engaging show that's going to make me forget where I'm at. But somehow on the way back, suddenly this feeling takes over me of I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to get my
Mm,
life together on the plane through journaling and looking over my notes and making a plan for the future. I don't know what it is about the flight home. Maybe it's because, like, oh, I've spent all this time doing this other thing and now I feel like I need to catch up before I land, or
mhm.
I don't know what it is, but I definitely do some journaling and planning and thinking about the future, but only on the flight home. What about you, Malika?
I can relate to that about the flight home.
Yes.
That's often a very productive time.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like outside of flying,
Oh,
where does your deep work happen?
outside of flying, my deep work happens at a cafe or, I like to go to the Huntington,
That's right.
headphones, listen to
Yes.
music, and like people around, sound of
Yeah,
people, but no one I know,
I see.
but not home. It's really hard for me to get to that deep work state at home or even at my desk. It's hard at work. I have to go to like another part of the school, or I could do deep work at work when everyone else is gone. If people
I
are
see.
around, I'm drawn to connect and converse and do things that I feel I should be doing with the people who are here. But when people are gone, then I do good work.
I see. We're kind of similar in
Are we?
a lot of those. I can't really do deep work at home. I do like coffee shops where people are around that I don't know.
Hmm.
But I'm thinking about in college, I really liked going to the library carols, like where there
Yes.
was like you were kind of shut off and or in the stacks, there would just be a random desk. And like it did feel a little bit like suffering, but I did it. Like I knew that if I went there, I would write the paper or finish the paper. So it
Mm.
was, I guess, a trick. I didn't enjoy being there particularly, but it got the job done.
But there are a lot of people there. There's still like a hum, it's got a
Yeah.
sound and the smell of books,
Yeah.
like there's something kind of romantic about that experience also. So I think that fits into the cafe category.
Yeah, but I would go to the part of the library where there was nobody else.
Okay.
Like in the stacks, like with the thing on 3 sides.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about,
Okay.
the partition.
Yeah.
But then there were other people in other partitions.
Not in these ones.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just
All right.
me.
Okay.
It just made me realize I don't really seek that out now. I mean,
Yeah.
and do I have deep work on that level? Maybe that's part of it. Not really at that.
I do, and I would love a library experience. I should look into, like, PCC, Pasadena City College,
Yeah.
because they have a beautiful library, but there aren't any libraries close to me where I can get that experience because I
Yeah.
would go for sure.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So in episode 529, they talked about cutting back on cussing. And that made me think about just cutting back on anything in your language.
Hmm.
So when you were here, one of the things that you said to me was that I should not ask Indigo so many questions. That I
Mm.
was often talking to him in the form of like, do you want to climb up to your chair now? Instead of climb up into your chair now.
Mhm.
And when you said it to me, I felt really like, oh no, just the pain of being critiqued,
Aw.
which I moved on from and was like, I think that's really true. That's interesting. Like I hadn't been listening to myself.
Mm.
And then I
Mhm.
noticed that I was doing it all the time. And so I've been trying to cut back on that and to really be intentional. Like when I'm asking him, it's okay to ask him questions, but like, do I want him to do this behavior? Am I inviting him to do it or does he need to do it?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
trying to be clear about that for myself. Just thinking about language is hard
Yes.
because we just talk. And like,
Right.
no, but
Yeah.
I think I really appreciate having that cue because now it has made me stop and think and be more
Mm.
intentional. And I mean, ultimately, I think it's a better form of communication.
Mm. I hesitated. I did not want to make you self-conscious, and so I really did think about it. I pick up on it only because I've had years of working in preschool and
Yeah,
working with very young children, and everything is not a choice, and it's important to be clear about when it is a choice and when it's not a choice, and if it's not a choice, it shouldn't be presented as a choice,
right.
know? But in our desire to be friendly and nice and upbeat, we invite. And it's like, no, actually, I need you to do this is an okay thing to say. So I definitely, just because I worked so many years with very young children, I picked up on that. Yeah, language is tricky. I think about how many times, I don't think this is an issue for me, but I pick up on how many times people say like.
Mm-hmm.
And that also is hard to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's about public speaking. That's something that you're probably much better at, being a trained actor. But yeah, it's hard to change our natural patterns of speech.
Are you trying to cut back on saying like?
I don't think so. I don't think it is an issue for me, but please tell me if it is.
Okay.
There have been things that you say that I said a lot like, I can't remember what it was. There it is. There was a like right there. But there was something at the beginning when we first started podcasting, a phrase or something I would say over and over again.
Delightful.
Delightful, maybe that's what it was.
Part of that, though, is I was editing the podcast. So when you're editing
Yes,
it,
so you're
you're
cued in.
really tuned in to what every single word and you can really see patterns. I don't think I would have noticed that otherwise.
Well, feel free to point out other things as you are editing. This is why I don't like to listen to my own podcasts. Because those things pop out at you. But anyway, cussing is not an issue for me. I rarely cuss. I think it is also working with children for so many years. And because mommy and daddy didn't cuss around us,
Yeah.
we didn't grow up with it. So I can, and maybe if I'm really angry or really worked up with friends, I might draw up something, but it's not my pattern. So I would probably be terrible in Hollywood because according to Sarah and Liz, you got to drop an F bomb to be credible. So I would definitely be not credible in that space.
They also talked about relating to objects. Like, do
Mm.
you feel like objects have a personality? Do you give them traits?
Do you?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not like a pro at getting rid of things, but it's not because I think they have feelings.
Sentimental value, though, is it that
Yeah,
the
well,
reason
I
why it's hard to
guess,
get rid of
okay,
things?
here it is. This is what I'm thinking.
Here it is. Here it is. Get ready.
I think there is some truth to this because I do remember early on when Norm and I started living together, we were in a very small space and there were times that he would put like a pile of mail on the bed. And I just thought like, no, this can't happen. We can't have
Mm.
papers like this on the bed. I had this really deep feeling like that kind of bills and admin information would like seep into the sheets and like
Oh.
keep us up at night or something. Like it just seemed like, no, we need a different place for the stack of papers. It's not good to store things like this on the bed. So
Hmm.
that's something that I feel like, oh yeah, that's not logical, but I felt it very strongly. And so I
Mm-hmm.
guess there are certain things. I really did resonate with Marie Kondo with the Netflix show,
Mm.
when she would go through her process of like thanking the house. And I mean, her kind of connection to objects was very much spiritual.
Hmm.
I guess I resonated with that, though I don't feel like I practice that necessarily. I guess there are certain things that I feel like should not come into certain spaces within the house because of the energy that they have.
Yeah, no, I don't feel any of that. I think I'm very cold when it comes to
Yeah.
things. Things come and things go all the time. I'm not attached to anything. I'm really not attached to things. There are some things that have more sentimental value, my wedding ring or some other piece of jewelry, but I don't believe that they have souls or energy or anything like that. It makes it really easy for me to let things go
Mhm.
and to make room for other things to come into my life. But I will tell you, this is not what they were talking about, but going back to the idea that objects sacrifice themselves for you.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this because when I went to visit you, I have said already that I am not a comfortable flyer and I have all these things. I overpack, and I had my AirPods with me and my AirPod case. I realized as we were landing, I could not find it. And I had the AirPods in my ear, but the case was not in the little pouch. It wasn't around on the seat where I can see, but you're crammed in and it's really hard to get a good look at things. And it was dark and our flight was running late and we had a very short time to connect to the next gate, which was far away. We were connecting in Chicago. And so I just made the choice to I have to let it go. I have to let this
Mm.
case go and I have to just get off the plane. I was with Sinai. We had to go to our connecting flight and we did. And I realized well, maybe that AirPod case was sacrificing itself. Well, certainly so I can get to the plane, but
Yeah.
maybe there was something about that. It was actually kind of fun because there's tracking device on the AirPod case, so I got to see all the flights that it went on, all the places it got to travel. They went to Florida, and then they went to Texas, and then they kind of stayed in Texas, so I imagine they were there, but the AirPod case sacrificed itself, and that's okay, I'm alright with that.
Hmm.
Just get a new one.
I mean, that is a spiritual thing, I think.
It's fun to think about. It's definitely fun to think about.
Or maybe it's metaphysical, I'll say.
Yeah, I love that framework. I think it just makes loss easier. That
Yeah.
that specific kind of grieving that can happen over,
Yeah.
because we could have feelings about ourselves, about losing something or whatever. I like that framework.
I tell you, AirPods, okay, so mommy and daddy are here right now. And the first day or second day, mommy dropped one of her earbuds. It's not an AirPod, it's some other brand
Hmm.
under the table. And she was convinced that Kermit had eaten it.
Oh no.
We were like, oh, Kermit, which is
Eaten it.
like, a bit of a he doesn't typically eat technology, but he
Right.
has consumed toys or things with interesting textures, you know?
Okay.
So we were kind of on the lookout for that. And then
Right.
a couple days later, she found it. It was like wrapped up in her scarf or something.
Oh my goodness.
And then concurrently, Daddy thought that he left his AirPods on the airplane.
Right.
And it was just like, oh my gosh, Azizi did the same thing. And he ordered a new pair. And again, it's some different product. So it doesn't have the same iPhone tracking thing.
Right.
And then today, somehow they were in mommy's purse.
Oh my gosh. All the drama around AirPods.
So much drama.
Okay, now that we're telling AirPod stories, I have to tell you one more about a colleague. And this is such an interesting conundrum. We got to the meeting where I was at. It was a different location for him. He was traveling from out of town and meeting up with us at this meeting and realized he could not find actually, it was his phone. It wasn't his AirPods. His phone was missing. And then he realized that he left his phone in the Waymo. Right? The Waymos
Oh,
are those
self-driving
self-driving
car.
taxis, and this was such a conundrum, like, how do you get a phone
Mm,
from a self-driving taxi? Because you can't just call it and then something's gonna happen, you know? So he ended up having to go to, like, the hub, and it was this whole complicated process, but anyway, this is modern technology, self-driving cars, losing things, back to Gretchen, always turn around and look before you leave
yes.
a place. You don't wanna lose something in a self-driving car.
No.
Where are we?
Okay. Where are we? Okay.
Okay.
Last story on
Well,
losing things. So on T-Boy, they shared this
you
report
have another
of,
story about losing things?
yes,
Okay.
from Uber of like all of the things that are left in the back of an
Oh,
Uber.
right.
They share this annually. Like the weirdest things get left behind. And statistically, there was like one day of the year, October 26th, it's like the losingest day of the year, where there were more people lost things than average
I have a theory about that.
on that day. What do you think it
I think
is?
it's, like, the weekend before Halloween. I think there are a lot
Mm,
of Halloween parties at the end of October,
yes.
and I think people are extra forgetful when they're taking their Ubers to go party.
Yeah.
That's my
Okay.
theory.
We'll have to verify the date because it didn't feel like it was so close to a holiday that it would make sense. But I don't know. You could be onto something.
I mean, it doesn't actually make sense because the day of the week
Right.
changes. Like, if it was always on the weekend, that would make sense. It doesn't exactly make sense, but that's my theory. I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
Okay. So I really enjoyed the conversation with Jay Shetty and Michelle Obama and her brother. What about you, Malika?
Yes. It was fun. I was a little like, wait, I thought it was going to be a preview, like a trailer.
Yes.
And then I realized, oh, this is the episode.
Yeah.
And so I settled in, but it's just fun to hear another sibling podcast.
Hmm.
And I feel like who else could host with Michelle Obama and be so casual but her brother?
Yeah.
So it's fun to hear their banter. And they were recording on Martha's Vineyard, which I've been thinking about in my like Massachusetts
Have you been?
ness. I have never been. It's on my list. And mommy and daddy now have a connection there. Apparently, there's a house we can use sometime.
Well, mommy told me this, and I was like, why am I not in Martha's Vineyard then? Like, I don't understand.
You don't
This
believe
does
her?
not compute. We would be there if you have this connection. I was like, do something about it, So we'll see.
I think, yeah, we might have to press them. I feel like I'm the anchor here in Massachusetts. Maybe if I was like, okay, this is the weekend.
Yes.
We need to strategize about this because it could be a game changer for our family.
Or else she shouldn't mention it. She shouldn't just throw this information around unless she's prepared to deliver.
Yeah. They were kind of answering listener question about somebody who was considering starting a family, but also was considering doing a big business venture on their own. And I really liked their conversation around it. And I think that kind of all or nothing thinking is really common, especially when it comes to family,
Hmm.
like family or ambition. And I think the person who had written in was a man. I feel as a woman, comes up a lot around like kids versus career. And that's one of the reasons I really like the podcast, Best of Both Worlds,
Hmm.
because I do think it can be way more nuanced. But it reminded me of some of my thinking around like my actor journey long term, that
Hmm.
it can feel like I'm never going to be an actor again because I have a little kid and I'm having another one. So it's like what felt like might be 3 years away is now like 5 years away in terms of more flexibility or time. And I don't actually know what things will be in 5 years, but also I could try to take a class now,
Hmm.
like there's a lot of ways to blend things. And they were really encouraging this listener to really look in the gray areas and not be so binary.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciated that context and conversation because you actually never know.
You
And that
don't.
always waiting for the perfect time, you will do nothing. You won't go anywhere. So you just have to live your life, like go for it. That's my personal philosophy. It's like just don't wait, just do it, just try it. And things will work out. There's no perfect time. It doesn't exist. That's impossible.
Yeah.
There's just, now. So in episode 530, Gretchen talked about using apothecary jars, which I actually don't exactly know what they are. I should follow up with that. I can imagine them as just being like mason jars because she said she
They're
puts,
bigger.
they're bigger, so big jars. And I mean, they have some really big mason jars also. But
That's
that,
true.
that's probably not what she's talking about. But anyway, she puts a lot of toys and odds and ends in them. And that made me think about the beautiful lunchbox that you gave me, Malika, because it was like this floral painted bento box. Do you remember that?
I do.
It's like metal and it's just not practical for lunch. It's like, what am I going to do with this? I actually can't use it for lunch, but I put a bunch of hair ties and barrettes and like pins in it in the bathroom and
Mm,
it's on a shelf and it looks so beautiful there. So I repurposed it. Thank you.
nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've thought about this because we have a lot of knickknacks and like I see it, I call it feels like crap. If that, you know,
Got your
like
fancy word for it. How do you say crap?
that, like I kind of just want to throw away, but
Yeah.
I could see it being more valuable if it was all collected in one place. I don't know that we have the right storage or setup. I can't imagine where it would go, like we don't have a shelf like that or
A mantle or anything like that.
not really, no.
Yeah.
But I liked her idea of like dumping it all out on the floor every now and then and letting the kids go through it.
I liked it too. And you're at the beginning of this. So you've got a lot of
I
years ahead
know.
of you of enjoying this kind of thing. Even if it was like in a shoebox, it doesn't necessarily have to be presented. Just
Yeah.
the idea of gathering all that stuff up into one place and bringing it out like on a
Yeah.
rainy day or like she said, a play date. I think that's a good idea because it makes it special. Even
Right.
if it would just like ended up in the toy bin, it wouldn't be special anymore, but kind of reserving it makes it feel special.
Yeah.
Putting a few in your bag when you go out to eat or something. Toys.
Yeah. That's true. How do you feel about spring cleaning is easy? Do you ever do it?
I definitely get the urge. I think I try to do a little bit. There's the spring decorating and change the tablecloth. There's some spring things that I try to do around the house for sure, but there's never enough time to really like do a deep clean. What about you, Malika?
I get it conceptually, but I have never had the urge
Hmm.
and I just have never done it.
Oh.
It's like how some people feel about New Year's, like, what's the big deal? It's an arbitrary day. Or I feel that way about spring cleaning. Like, if I'm not cleaning my house in the winter, I'm not cleaning my house in the spring.
But I clean it in the winter and in the spring. Like, I can
Well,
do
there we
both.
go. This is really about the way I feel about cleaning.
I just want things to be organized. Like, I feel like, okay, this is a time to take care of that thing that's not working in the closet or whatever. And I tend to just hone in on one area to quote unquote clean. And it's mostly about making sure that the system is working
Yeah.
there. But I get it. It is arbitrary and it can be done anytime. Gretchen mentioned having a countdown clock that she uses for her speaking engagements so she doesn't have to rely on other people to let her know how much time she has left. And I know she's mentioned it before, but this time a light bulb went off and I realized, oh, I need this. I actually need this
Mm,
because I give reports at my board meetings and I am consistently going over time and just having no concept of where I'm at. Sometimes I ask someone to keep time for me, but if I had my own little clock in front of me, and you could set iPhone or you can set a timer on your computer, but there's just something so nice about having a separate device where that is all its job and you just turn a button or crank a knob.
yeah.
And I feel like I could use this in meetings also because I struggle with knowing when the next meeting is going to start and just going over and into the next meeting. So at the beginning of my meeting, I can just set this timer and that might be helpful for everyone.
How big is it?
It's small. It's like a travel alarm clock. It's like there's numbers on it, but the numbers are just counting down. I think
Right.
just an hour. And so you turn it and it's like the color part is the amount of time you have left. And then it kind of like goes away over time. It's really convenient.
And then does it buzz or it just stops?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, okay.
I will report back once it arrives. Should be here tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'll let you know how that goes. But this one is like light blue and has rainbows, and I'm really excited about it because I think it's going to dress up my like small tablescape when I'm in meetings.
That's funny.
I think
Oh my
everyone will.
gosh. You need a tablescape at a
Just
meeting?
a small one, just like all of your things, you have to look at them, so might as well make them pretty. Oh, you should see my keyboard, Malika. I have the most beautiful ombre purple keyboard. And people are like, "Oh, that's nice." In this episode, Liz actually talked about her clothes being in purgatory, like getting
Mm,
stuck because she doesn't know what to do with the clothes that she's worn. Does she put them back? Are they dirty? Do you wash them? And I too like to get a couple of wears out of my clothes. I don't want to wash everything every time if it is
yeah.
not dirty. But I was out at a coffee with a colleague the other morning and I looked at my shirt and realized I had a stain on it from the last time I
Ooh,
wore it. And I was like, oh, this strategy may not be working. So I have to reevaluate that strategy and maybe just lean on washing them.
yes. Check before you leave the house. Is it dirty?
I was on my way to the coffee when I realized it, and I was like, "Do I say something?" And I was like, "Nope, not gonna say anything. She's gonna pretend like it's not there, and so will she." I think that was the right call.
That's funny. I feel like all my clothes are in purgatory in the heap on my heap.
That is true. I have seen it. I can confirm that that's where they are. If you were wondering, they're
Yeah.
definitely in a heap in purgatory. Is it because you don't wanna wash them? Is it, like, making the choice? Is that hard?
No, if it's dirty, I'll wash it. They're not dirty. Just I don't have a system for putting them away, hanging them up. I can't access the drawers.
Right.
That's the main thing.
You need a system.
But there are some things in there that are genuinely trapped. I haven't seen in a long time. And like
They're crying for help.
they don't
Like, oh
deserve
my
to be in the
gosh.
middle and they just are.
I think we need a couple of like big clear bins. There's probably a lot of things that don't need to be there that we just need to
Yeah.
put somewhere else out of the closet and just have your capsule wardrobe there. That's manageable. But you are pregnant also.
It's a
So
part of it.
you're going through a lot of clothes in different sizes. So that's a unique challenge. We'll cut you some slack. Let's take a break. And when we get back, we'll check into Happier in Hollywood. Okay, we're back. Malika, what happened on Happier in Hollywood?
On episode 412, Sarah and Elizabeth discuss the joy of slow reading. And in 413, they share a commuting hack in the obstacle of relaxing while on vacation. They talked about reading like a college student, like when you are reading a book and you've got your highlighter and you're taking notes in the margins and really like breaking down a text.
Hmm.
I really like that too. That's one of the things I really like about Shakespeare, or certain acting texts. You could mark it up or
Hmm.
find deeper meaning in it. And I just don't do that now. I have so many highlighters, and it would be fun to use them for a practical purpose again. Like, I'm always
Actually highlight a thing.
trying to highlight stuff in my planner, and it's like, doesn't really need to be highlighted, or
Mm.
I'll highlight on my to-do list, like, the thing that I'm gonna work on next.
Hmm.
That's also a stretch, I feel. I don't know. But it made me think about your iPad situation, your
Mm.
good notes, and the way you write on it, and I think I'm still wanting that.
Mm.
And a listener told me about this astrologer who has a newsletter called Cosmic Latte
Mhm.
that I've been subscribing to. And I thought, well, maybe because every week she sends out your moon scope for the week and there's all these things, like that would be a thing I could annotate.
When, Malika? When are
I,
you annotating this horoscope?
I don't know. Well, this was like,
How is this gonna happen? I'm so curious.
if I had this iPad, then
If time would part and stop so that you could annotate a horoscope?
it would be easier to do. It'd be right on my iPad in my email. And then I could just yeah, you're right. I don't know.
It definitely sounds like fun, and maybe when you go to Kripalu or something, this is something that you can do for the month. But I get to do this still. I don't do it often, but, like, when I go to the teacher camp,
Oh, yes.
we are doing a deep dive into some texts, and we are highlighting, and we are circling, and we are taking notes in the margin. And the Institute for Descriptive Inquiry that I've talked about so many times, one of the steps is to do a close read of a passage. So together the group decides which passage they're going to do a close read of. And you have to read the passage sentence by sentence, but replacing each word for something that is similar to that word. And it's such a unique brain meld, like expanding
Mm,
exercise. So instead of saying the thing that's there, you use other words to say the same thing. And it just helps unlock all the different meanings behind the word choice of the author. That's how deep we go
wow.
into text. And I do love it. It's a luxury now, it feels like, to get to do that
Yeah.
kind of work around text.
In episode 413, they shared a hack about keeping an apron in your car
Hmm.
so that you don't spill coffee or food as you're commuting. And I think that's such a great idea. It's like I'll have napkins in the car,
Right.
but a napkin doesn't cover that much. A napkin is like damage control. This is like prevention, you
The
know?
napkin is after the fact. That's not stopping anything from spilling. That is so true. I felt the same way. As soon as she said it, I was like, this is brilliant. And I want someone to develop a device just for the car for this purpose.
A device like other than an apron?
Like a special car apron.
Okay.
It's like 3/4 or something, or maybe just
Yeah.
half. Or maybe it's like a big bib. I don't know. Do you need the whole
Well,
apron?
Indigo has these smocks that he uses for dinner. I mean, we put them on. He didn't choose this life, but we've been using them instead of just a bib. It's a smock. You put your arms in, it
Yes.
ties in the back, has a little pocket so it catches food.
I think that's the key, is the pocket to catch the
I
food that an
do.
apron does not have.
I think
Yes.
the coverage that he has in his high chair is like pretty good. We need a grown-up
I
one.
don't want the long sleeves. My sleeves are fine usually when I'm
Your
eating.
sleeves are usually fine,
It's
it's
just the
true.
front,
Yeah.
so with pockets.
I think I need one in my office as well, because 'cause I'll eat lunch in there and anything could happen, you know?
Anything could happen. Anything could happen, Malika. You just never know. I'm with you. Someone make this, please. Make a grown person's bib with the pocket to catch the food for when anything happens, when you're driving or when you're in your office.
Yeah.
Maybe it already exists. I don't know. In this episode, Liz was talking about how hard it was for her to relax when she was on vacation. I think
Mm,
family were in Palm Springs. And she said that it took days to fully relax. And I can so relate to this. And it is really frustrating. Like when I'm leaving, first of all, just the leaving is stressful.
yeah.
Leaving work in whatever state it's in and packing and traveling. And finally you get there and it just takes time to let the vacation seep in. It doesn't just happen. And that is frustrating.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. I think in different seasons it's been harder.
Yeah.
I think now the paradigm is like when it's a whole family vacation, it's not even a vacation and
Right.
like
Yes.
don't expect to relax because it's
Yes.
just something else.
I'm so sorry, Malika. I am so
But I do
sorry.
feel like with Norm and our getaways, our 24-hour getaways,
Mm,
I think because it is such a short time, somehow I'm conditioned myself to like let go when we drive out of the driveway.
wow.
And it really does feel like a break because it's so short. There's no time to not relax.
As soon as you leave the driveway, that's impressive because I would be stressed about when are we going to get there and how much time is it going to take and is there going to be traffic? Like my brain is
Well,
still going.
I guess part of the beauty of that, at least the way we've been doing it, it's been so close. It's like a
Right.
destination that's an hour away. That's
Right.
not a real destination. So there's no traffic. It's just
That's not a factor.
going to one other part of the city.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been any plans except we're going to go and we're going to eat dinner or something. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
the bar is so low that the only thing to do is just kind of hang out and I don't know.
Well, one thing that I get tied up about is I still feel like or grapple with should I do some work? And
Mm.
here's the reason, because part of me feels like if I just did a little work now, when I go back to work, I'll be in a better situation and I'll be less stressed out because I have done a little bit of work or I've done some of the things and crossed some things off the list. And so then I can come back ahead versus when I do no work and then I go to work and I'm like, why didn't I do any work? Now I'm in this
Mm.
situation and I could have been further ahead if I had just done a little bit of work. So that's the conundrum that I find myself in these days when I'm on vacation. So when I was in Mammoth, I did do a little bit of work, but over winter break, I didn't do any work. And I definitely felt like I should have done a little bit
Yeah,
more.
I think you need a buffer day.
A
That's
buffer
like
day.
not your vacation, but you're not at work yet
Right.
and you can do work then.
Build in an extra day. Like when you get back, build in a day that's just for transitioning back in.
Yeah, and catching up.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah. I wonder, listeners, if you have any ideas about how to get into the vacation state of mind sooner, I would definitely love to hear them. If you have any tips or suggestions for how to get into that vacation mode. It sounds like it's not an issue for Malika. Seems she's fine. Seems like as soon as she gets in the car.
I mean, it depends what type of vacation it is and who's there.
Right. It's any vacation for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter if it's just Grayson and I or if it's the whole family. I'm still in that like stress kind of mode for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear what listeners have to say. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we will share our peaks and valleys.
Hey, it's Paris. You know, I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
We're back with peaks and valleys because in life, there are always peaks and there are always valleys. This is an odd episode, so Malika is up first with a peak.
All right. So this week, as I mentioned, my parents are in town. We've been going out to eat a lot. And we were having dinner the other night, and Indigo was there too. And I just want to give a peek to Norm for being so tuned in to Indigo this was like our first kind of full night. So I was really catching up with mommy and daddy.
Hmm.
And Indigo was fine, but, it got to a point where he was getting restless. He had finished eating, and Norm just kind of picked him up and was like, we're going to go outside. I'm going to take him outside.
Hmm.
And they walked around the parking lot. He basically just had him for a while. And I just felt so grateful, like, that he was tuned in because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, maybe the next move would be bring out my phone,
Right. You were at that stage. Screen. Here you go. No shame there.
No shame.
There's a place for that.
But I think Norm was very much up for and tuned into, like, the kid needs a break from the table, and, like,
Yeah.
I can do that right now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he did, because it ended up taking quite a while to, like, get the check and close out.
Right.
We were probably there for another 30 minutes.
Hmm.
But it was just one of those moments where I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that I'm doing this family life project with this person.
Aw,
Like,
how
he's a
sweet.
great partner, and
He's a
he's
good partner.
a great father too. And so
Maybe he also needed a break.
maybe so. That's legit. But it worked on multiple levels.
That's wonderful.
What's your valley, Azizi?
My valley is that it's taking me too long to get back into sync with my workouts. So
Mm,
before spring break, I had a good stretch of mostly walking every morning. And after spring break, it's just, I have found it difficult to jump back in. So I'm just saying it out loud
okay.
so that I can remind myself and do what it takes to just get up and get on the treadmill in the morning.
Okay. I believe in you.
Straightforward. Thank you.
I
I
believe.
I believe
I
that
believe that you can win.
I believe that I can win. I believe that I can win. It always goes wrong when we do
I
it.
know. It's hard to do it together.
Can you do things together on the podcast?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think there's a delay.
okay. Well, maybe we'll practice later. Come back with it.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I'm going to get on the treadmill this week.
Yes, you are.
What about you, Malika?
I think I want to read my horoscope.
Oh, annotate it. Maybe you can annotate mine too and send it to me.
We'll see. Yes. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye. That was a long banter.
That's okay.
Ah.
All right. Musical interlude.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.